Hey, everybody, come on in. We see you out there. We are running by the seat of our pants this morning. I sent out the wrong link to folks. So embarrassing as it is, I am going to be contacting people while we are live and sending them the link to get into the show. So hang on and bear with me for a minute. Come on in. Coffee's in the back of the room. Anybody else that shows up to that other room is going to be probably pretty lonely. So we'll see how it goes. Welcome. This is the Sunday Funnies, as coordinated as ever, for the 20th of March, 2020. We have lots of guests to bring on, so please bear with me for a moment as I make that correction and send people to the proper room. There was a little bing there. Somebody's already here. So we will get to that here in just a second. Hang in there, whoever's there. It's probably our special guest today. I am sending out links as we speak. Sorry about this, folks, but we needed to go live in order to preserve our Facebook standings. And you get a little bit of background work in here. As we send out links, proper links to people. Here we go. Everybody who's out there, hang in there with me, will you? Just getting things set here. Yeah, that's right. This is how coordinated I am at times. Anybody else who needs a link, let me know in the chat. Chat's alive. Chat's alive. Chat's alive. So come on in, everybody. This is the Sunday Funnies for the 20th of March. As uncoordinated as we are, I'm going to run a real quick opening and make sure we've got everybody covered. And we will be right back. Hang on. Maniacal laughter as we are desperately trying to get back and coordinated. Of course. And I think that's it. I think that was everybody I was inviting today. If you are in a separate room or you have a different link or you want to be on the show, just let me know. Get a hold of me. From the desk of a small press publisher says, good morning, Randy. Good morning, Joe. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for listening in. Thanks for bearing with us. Fazaroko. Hey, everyone. I might have pronounced that wrong, and I am sorry if I did. Morning, everybody. Enjoy the coffee back there. Midday here. Oh, cool. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world listening in. Let me bring in a occasional guest here on the show, Mr. Rich Perota. Rich, how are you doing?
Hello, Randy. How are you today?
Uncoordinated as always.
Yeah, well, that's the best way to be. It gives room for improv, and it gives room for inspiration. So
yes, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. What? It's the truth, man.
Oh no, I believe that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yay.
Everybody out there, I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. I'm a longtime alternative and independent comics producer, publisher, creator. Been podcasting for years, though it doesn't seem like it today. And we do this Sunday Funnies program in order to talk about our passion, our love for this business, this industry, and most especially this art form.
Yes, we do.
And today, yes, because we love it so.
We do.
If you hear any creaking on the show, that's my wife walking upstairs. I live in a wonderful old house. So,
nicely done. Nicely done.
We also want to bring in a special guest today. First time to the network. First time to the broadcast.
Oh wow,
Mr. Tim Tyson, right?
Tim Thiessen Loughran, but yeah,
Thiessen.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Tim
I know
Thiessen.
someone.
No.
I had an artist friend that had a name spelt almost the same as yours, only it had one S instead of two.
Yeah,
and his last name was Tyson.
Yeah,
nicely done.
So Tim Thiessen, how are you?
Yes.
Introduce yourself to the audience, Tim.
Hi, I am Tim. Kind of for the helps of those who don't want to take the hard right from German to Irish last names, I just abbreviated to TK. But I am a comics writer now and editor over at Silverline Comics. Before that, I mostly wrote short fiction and sci-fi.
Sweet.
Yay.
And we'll get to know you more here as we go along. But Rich, introduce yourself to the listening audience.
Okay. Hi. Well, this hand belongs to Rich.
All they can see are your hands. Yes.
All right. This hand and this pencil and this other hand belongs to Rich Parada. That would be this guy. I was an inker for quite some time for Marvel and DC Comics from the mid 1990s to around 2012. 2013, I stopped inking. I became a pencil and inker for the independent studios. And in early 2021, I decided to publish my own graphic novel where I wrote, drew, colored, and lettered my graphic novel series called The Incantessi. I'm in the midst of working on chapter 3, as well as another project, which I need to announce probably within another week or two, because I'm having a couple of changes of heart with a couple of things. And right now, I am on Randy's show, and I'm honored to be here. And Randy, I'm going to put you on the spot. Think of something for me to draw right now while I'm on your podcast.
The first thing that popped in my head was Oscar the Grouch.
All right, nice. Got it. I'm done. I'm down for that one.
Okay.
I'm going to get a little reference just to be sure, because it's been a while since I've seen Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah. I don't know why that popped into my head. Maybe it's the way I'm feeling. I'm not sure.
Well, it works. So, do you want them with like Wolverine claws or something, or like?
However you want to draw them, Rich. I'm sure the audience
somebody help me with this. Tim, what should I do with Oscar the Grouch?
Tim is really early for Tim this morning.
Yes, it is.
That's the large mug of coffee in his hand.
This is
God. Well, where is Tim located?
I'm over in Oregon. This is mug 3. Yeah.
Wow.
It's barely after 6 a.m. where Tim is.
Man, you are up early.
I got
on a Sunday.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is I am a snowboarder, hence the Mount Hood, Oregon coffee mug. So it's not the
done.
Yeah, but normally you need some sort of intense adrenaline activity to actually have brain function at this point. Oscar the Grouch.
Yes.
First thing that comes to mind would probably be Captain America shielding with the trash can lid.
Yes. All right, you got it. Right. That's gonna be too much. Love it. Okay. Oh man, this is so dope. Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you so much, Randy. I'm gonna have so much fun drawing this. It's not even gonna be funny.
Awesome. We're gonna love watching you as you do it. So Fazurko, is that right? Fazurko says, hey Rich.
Hey Fazurko, what's up?
Publishing says, morning, Joe. Everybody says good morning. Ragin 2 in the house. My producer. That woman always screws shit up. That's not your fault. It was my fault. I sent people all the links to go into a Sunday Funnies back room instead of into this studio so that we could go live. So that's not your fault. Brad Arney says, good to see you, Randy. Good to be seen. Brad, thanks so much for watching. Thanks
Hello,
so much
Brad
for being
Arney.
from the desk of a small press publisher, I built StreamYard rooms last night. None of them saved. Yeah. It's the way it works sometimes. Love it. Mike Jimmy says, hey, lovelies. Mike Jimmy, how you doing this morning?
Hello,
Hope
big
you're
sexy
doing okay.
Mike Jimmy.
If you want a link, Mike Jimmy, send me a Facebook message. I'll keep an eye open for it, and then we'll be happy to have you on. Drum going through TSA. Ragin 2 says, well, he's already got that Captain America thing working. So, having thrown out a modern Carol Danvers book in disgust, calling it worse than trash. Nine Realms Publishing. Well, we're here for the Sunday Funnies, where we're going to talk about the more lighthearted and whimsical side of comics. We don't want to be too mean or too bitter, but sometimes
I'll leave that up to me.
That's just the way we are. Yeah. What's the subject today? There is no subject today, Mike Jimmy. Come on in. Actually, we're talking to Tim Thiessen,
yes,
right?
we are talking
Yes.
to him.
Yeah.
Thiessen. Tim
Thiessen.
Thiessen.
Yeah.
Tim Thiessen. I will get that right one of these
That's
years.
all right.
Tim, how long have you been editing over at Silverline?
Shortly after I moved back to Oregon from Florida, which is where I know Roland from. So probably around 2000. It's probably about 4 years now.
So that's how you got to know Silverline, was when you were in Florida?
Yeah.
Because so many of these alternative publishers are very regional. There's so few people outside of the Midwest that have ever heard of Arrow Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Though Arrow Comics has been around since the 80s. If you've been lucky enough to catch one outside of that, you probably saw it from Mile High or one of the larger retailers that decided to buy a few extra copies and put them in their boxes as they traveled around the country and doing conventions.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I do occasionally see a few out this way, but it is like in the secondhand bins. So someone probably bought it, and after they moved, ended up reselling it to their local shop. Right.
You get tired of that Arrow. Yeah. Anyway, tell us about your history, Tim. Nobody here has seen you before, so
Sure.
Let's get to know you.
All right. Well, I am still pretty young in the world of comics and in general. I'm on the underside of 30, although with pandemic time, I'm effectively 2 years younger. But I've been writing and publishing since 2016. And for several years, I was mostly just short fiction and science fiction horror stuff for the collections and the anthologies. I had a few pieces that I ended up getting an award through a small publisher out of Austria, which was a weird experience, but it's just something someone just sends you like, hey, you should like market your piece over here, and it works well. But it probably at that point most known for pieces called The Maintenance or The Vessel, which were the two that actually got like recognition outside of the normal small writing scene. And then got to know Roland when I was going through the program at Full Sail University, and came back to Oregon. Ended up getting an email 2 years later asking me if I wanted to edit some submissions he had gotten, and just kept on getting more responsibility from that point on.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I was asked to send some of my own pitches in for it's kind of blind submissions, so some artists look over them without having my name attached to it at all, and if they liked it, then we'd actually talk about it. And that's how I ended up Wolfner got selected by an artist, AJ Cassetta, who just got out of Cooper School. So, and that's how I got into writing comics. Was that
nicely done, man? Can I ask what persuaded you to start writing comics? What was the story or the comic that pulled you towards this genre?
I've always loved comics. I've been reading them since I learned how to read essentially. That actually before the show, Randy was not even like really pre-Adrian, but he had mentioned your name, Rich, and he asked, do you know?
Oh
Rich
God,
Parada?
he did. You
Yeah.
poor thing.
I said,
did.
well,
Oh my God, why would he talk to you about me?
Because you
Hell,
were
man.
coming, and I wanted him to be forewarned.
Well, it didn't come off the top of my head
Yes,
immediately.
I
But
don't know if that was going to help
Yes.
him there, Randy. I mean, it's already bad enough. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, of all the people to introduce them in the comic book industry, you tell them about me.
Oh,
Oh,
you never know when that oil vinegar mix will happen. So
Yeah, no.
especially when we have a new person on the show.
oh God, help
Don't-
me.
don't you mean
poor,
vinegar and
Tim,
baking
you poor
soda?
man. You poor
That's all
man.
we needed. You know, Rich Perota.
Ah,
I'm going back to bed.
Well, not
God,
personally,
yeah,
but
going back to bed.
the name was rattling around in the back of my head there, and
Really? Okay,
I was like,
cool.
I feel like I'd seen it somewhere on like a front cover, and then I have the Google machine here. I have a nice multi-monitor setup. Did you work on Booster Gold Past and Perfect?
I sure did. Yeah.
Okay, that's where I remember that from.
I did.
We won't hold it against you, Rich.
Don't hold it against me, please.
No,
yeah.
no.
I mean, Booster's my favorite DC character.
Okay.
He's the most honest.
We all have our favorites.
Yeah, but
Booster's the most honest.
No.
No.
He was being sarcastic.
Booster. Oh, okay. All right. Good. Because every single thing about Booster Gold was made under false pretenses before he actually got exposed to it.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Yeah. The Booster Gold was fun.
Power is that false pretenses.
Yeah.
Oh, everything about him was false pretenses, and now he's like isn't he supposed to be like a time master or something? Like Time Master Hunter, like Rip Hunter, Master or some crap like that.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's
Does he
it's
hunt
not
with
that
Doctor
trouble.
Who?
I
know. I was like,
They
wait a
just
minute,
brought him
Booster
into
Gold was-
Legends in the last episode of the last
oh,
season.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah,
He's Doctor Who. He's like, hello, I'm the Doctor.
He's played by the guy that was on Scrubs.
That's
black
right.
guy.
Yeah. I like him. What's his name?
He's a good actor.
Nita, something Faison. Forgive me, I forgot his
I think
name.
you're right. Yeah.
something
I
like
couldn't
that.
tell you. I
But,
just know that he was brought in. We're also joined this morning by Mike Jimmy. Mike Jimmy, are you inking Ego Raven characters?
Yeah, so a couple of months ago, Daphne Lage uploaded a few portraits of her characters, and I decided, you know what, I need some comfort art. I'm going to ink over those. So they're really low resolution. They're really hard to ink over, but it's a nice challenge, and I'm having fun. So
Awesome. They're looking real good from here. I don't understand what you mean by a real challenge outside of trying to get those circles and swirls right.
well, the pictures that I've taken them from, I've sharpened them a little bit digitally, but like it's very pixelated. It's really, really hard to like, you can probably see the pixels on the letters, especially. Like it's actually pretty hard to get clean lines and read them properly.
I got you. It's looking real good from here, though. Looking
Thank
great.
you.
Just like Oscar. Look at Oscar. He's awesome.
That's yummy right there. I like my Mike has a really good smooth line there, man. Nice job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Facebook's user says, "What's up, guys? We're in the middle of talking to Tim from Silverline."
Tim.
Yep.
Oh,
no,
no,
I bet he gets
not
that
way.
enough. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was finally rid of that.
Oh
There
my
you go,
God!
Rich.
Oh, I'm not the first one to think of it. Wow, man, I'm really slow on the draw that one.
Oh,
Region
yeah.
2 Broadcast
God.
Network, eventually you need to fire the stage manager. So, fire the stage manager. So, producer, you can handle bigger things. And Ragin 2 comes back and tells from the desk of a small press publisher that our stage manager is a hamster named Dumpling. He's too cute to fire. Here at Ragin, our motto is, we'll get it together. There you are.
Yeah,
Sin
we'll
Killer,
shoot it out of a
Marv
cannon
is in the
eventually.
house. Greetings, sinners.
Hey.
I'm not at home right now. I came home to wish you all a great Sunday. Take care. Thanks, RV. I know you'll be listening to us later. Wow, looks great, Rich. Facebook user says.
Oh, well, thanks. Who's the Facebook user?
Don't know. Just says Facebook user. So
Let me get to
I would imagine he's using Facebook this morning.
Well, yeah.
That's what it says here.
It's implied.
Facebook user. He must be anonymous. Yeah. Nice work, both Rich and Mike Jimmy. Absolutely. Thank you. And thanks for watching.
I wonder who, if Oscar the Grouch actually became Captain America and he did all the whole Endgame thing, and he went back in time. Do you think he would give do you think he would give Big Bird the shield afterwards or something, or do you think he'd give it to Snuffleupagus?
Probably give it to Elmo.
Elmo, yes, Elmo. Oh my God,
yes.
That's if he didn't already inherit the Thor's hammer for being the most worthy.
You think Elmo would be out of all the Sesame Street characters? Who do you think would be the one worthy to carry Mjolnir?
Probably Elmo.
Elmo? Why Elmo?
Yeah, Elmo.
He's the most innocent. He's the most innocent. He's the one
it depends on if we're going by arson meme Elmo.
Elmo will devour sinners.
Oh God! I wonder who. Carol Spinney was the voice of Big Bird. So
Grover would inherit the Iron Man armor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Either that or the Spider-Man suit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And God, help me.
Beaker would expose himself to some sort of radiation and become some variation of Hulk or mutant or both.
That would be Big Bird.
Beaker
yeah.
is the perfect Hulk.
Oh no, Beaker. Yes, Beaker.
Oh, God, can you imagine Beaker as the Hulk?
Do you guys remember? But
only if you can imagine the Swedish chef as being Nick Fury.
Do you remember the Muppets Christmas movie where Kermit never got born? So you have Beaker as a bouncer in a club, and you can literally see Kermit meeting him like, Beaker, you're pumped. Meep.
Meep. Is Miss Piggy like a prostitute in that movie or what, man?
No, I think she's actually decently successful as a model. Because Kermit never kept her down.
A cheesecake model.
Yeah. Essentially, probably porn on the side, because you gotta make money somehow.
A scream queen. There we are. Dress her up as Vampirella. We're all set.
Yes.
Yes.
Look at the peak on Oscar's biceps, though. Look at that. It's
there you go. Takes a lot of muscle to wield that shield.
Yes, it does, especially since it's a trash can lid.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Looking great.
Thank you.
So what are you editing over at Silverline right now, Tim?
Yes.
Editing wise, thankfully, my load has been a little lightened on that since someone else has also picked up another series, so I'm writing two at the same time right now. But before that, I was editing a second round of Mantis Files, which is still being worked on. And mostly I do submissions, so mostly I just give people the yay or nay on whether or not their pitch goes forward. So
you're the guy.
Since you opened that door, what is your criteria for that?
So
good question.
Yeah, so I don't. Well, sometimes I do for artists, but mostly I just do the story submissions. So my criteria there is it the first thing I have to look for is it just an idea or is it an actual story? Because you get a lot of submissions which are, I have an idea for a hero. I'm like, okay, great. What are they doing? They're like, well, this is what the powers they have. I'm like, what are they doing? Mm-hmm. because a lot of people have a lot of great ideas, but when they can actually turn that into a story is when I will actually give their pitch more attention. So if in their summary I actually see a beginning, middle, and end for a volume.
Mhm.
I mean, it's comics, so you don't necessarily need to have like an entire end to a character storyline because you could suck money out of these things for 80 years. But but if they can at least tell me
only
like,
if they're really successful.
exactly, but if they can tell me like that, like the volume is at least like they're going to beat their nemesis here, or they're going to overcome this issue here. And if they can do that in the course of a paragraph or two, is really get those beats down and know that so I know that they know where they're going with it.
Sure.
And then once I know they can do that, what's going to be unique about it? Is it just some other, like, is this a story that I've read before? I mean, everything that's pastiche, I can get into the whole, all art is theft. But where does their filter change how other people read it? How did they, express it differently? Kind of weird thing do they like? I like really weird ideas. But if they can tell a complete story, if they can make it weird in some way, or make something that some weird combination that I haven't had overexposure to, or something that seems very personable to what would be very personal to that creator. And seem to have, if the pitch seems well suited for a visual art form, or if it seems like they're trying to write a novel and just sending pitches out wherever they can get pitches received, if they actually have context for the medium.
Have you ever gotten that submission in where you said this is the greatest thing since sliced bread? You take it over to Roland, and Roland goes, oh no, wait, this is 10, 15 years ago, such and such did this, and just absolutely not.
Thankfully not.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had a few things where it actually got passed around from someone else, and then I was the second hand to look over it, and I said, well, this is just really awkward for a visual format. This seems like it's going to be way too internal. I had one where I'm like, well, that feels like a cop-up of like the 2001 D&D movie, which was for anyone to reference that and then try to submit it. I mean, I almost feel like we should pass that on, but I haven't ever had anything that's got turned down once I passed it down.
Cool.
I feel like I might have. It feels bad being a writer myself, but I feel like I do have some tighter standards as a gatekeeper.
Right.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Are you the key master?
That is completely a good thing.
Are you the key master?
He's the gatekeeper.
He is the gatekeeper.
Where's the key master? Anyway.
The key master.
We'll have that.
Who is the no? If he was the gate, no. Wait, who was the gatekeeper? Was it Rick Moranis or was it Sigourney?
I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Because Tim looks like the guy that like all of a sudden like someone as hot as Sigourney Weaver would pop in and go, I'm looking for the key master, and then you're like, I am the key master. I'm the key master and Heisenberg all in one. Look how I am. Take me now, woman.
My body is ready.
See, I told you
That's just because you're drawing Grover. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Grover. That's Grover.
Or not Grover. I'm sorry.
Oscar.
I mentioned Grover because. Joe,
shit! Why didn't you say that? Oh my god! How can I forget that? I should have drawn Grover like right above him. It's like he's like, like angry Superman or something. Man.
Joe from a desk of a small press publisher says Grover would be Thor.
Sesame Street Civil War.
Yes.
There you are.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Who would Big Bird
You'd
be?
have the Sesame Street gang fighting the Muppets. Or from the Muppet Show.
Oh my! Oh, Miss Piggy is Wonder Woman. Jesus Christ! Ew! Oh my God!
That's got possibilities.
And the Fraggle Rock Underground Resistance.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And Jim Henson is Professor X. Rest in peace. Oh my god.
Somebody's probably already drawn that as a convention print.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, it probably. Oh, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised.
Definitely.
Had to have
So
got it by now.
I'm. It. Yeah. Well, probably. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But not as good as mine though. So they can eat it.
There you go.
I'm not humble either.
So what's the next project you got coming out, Tim?
Right now I have Wolf Hunter issue 1 of volume 1 is currently up for Kickstarter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Backtracking to last conversation before I go into the next thing. The most important thing to look for is, can someone follow instructions once you get past that? Because when you accept a pitch, a lot of times you're like, okay, I need this style of script from you, or like you ask them like, what style of script or working do you usually do, and then you're like, okay, can you give me that? And then either they don't, or if you're like, okay, our artist likes working with Marvel style scripts, or they like working with full scripting, can you do one or the other? And then they send you not that. We're like, okay, can you just take this back and rewrite it? And they don't. We're like, well, please work with the artist.
Yeah.
They're worth more money than the writer. But depending on timing, it's either going to be issue 2 of Wolf Hunter coming out, or it's going to be the next thing that I should already be. I'm not sure where it is with the artist right now. I know I believe they've already got the quite a bit, but I'm working on a Roman mythology influenced space opera.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Over in Europe, they had a series called the Trigon Empire.
Mm-hmm.
That was really interesting. A lot of
Yeah.
fun to read. I ran across a hardback of that when I was a kid.
Yeah. This one is dealing a lot with the deification of mortals, which was something that happened over there. If you were a good emperor, you got immortalized as and added to the pantheon. So this deals with the idea of each planet in the solar system being sentient in some way and choosing their own mortals to deify, and the politics that result from that, essentially.
Oh God.
Oh, that sounds very interesting.
That sounds creepy and really good. Also.
Yeah.
Well,
Don Lawrence, yeah, the Trigon Empire. Yeah. If I remember right. And Bezerko remembers right. Sounds right. Joe again says Miss Piggy would be Black Canary.
yes.
It's a better
Who would
fit
be Green?
for her than
God.
Wonder Woman.
Oh God.
Great progress on that Oscar, Rich.
Oh, thanks, man.
Nine Realms says you'd have to use the girl from the Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem Band.
Oh yes, I love her. Oh my God, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nine Realms says Roman mythology. My ears just perked up.
Yes.
It says Quintellus showing up.
Not in the first volume as written, but there's already been talks of expanding it and who we'd bring in, and also possibly tying in the ties to the Abyssinian Empire, or the fun cross-polymerization of Roman and Egyptian mythology that happened after around the time of Cleopatra. So the fun, weird hybrid gods that came out of that.
Yeah. Cool.
Is it strange saying that I have Hans Zimmer's version of the Wonder Woman theme from Batman v Superman playing in my head while I'm drawing this?
I wouldn't consider that too weird, I guess.
Dun, dun,
No,
dun, dun,
I've heard worse.
Dun, 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 dun.
Michael Oden, Nine Realms Publishing says you and I need to have a chat.
My TMs are open.
We're all fans of history. That's just especially mythology. That's really the first superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
That and a few
Most
of the
of all of
characters from
DC
the Bible.
comics superheroes are based on that.
Yeah.
The I forgot who it was. I can't remember his name, but he used to have a show called The Wednesday Club, and his stance was that comics are the mythology of modern society.
They are.
I think
Yeah.
I think Stan Lee floated that
Yeah,
many years ago.
yeah,
Yeah, the modern mythology. I think he used that in a magazine quote, if I'm not mistaken.
probably. Yeah,
So, but yeah, there are a lot, especially in the older days with the big two, where the characters were more heroes than whiners. But we're not here to talk about that. That's that negativity that we want to avoid on this program.
yeah.
Well, it's more honest debate than negativity.
Yeah.
think.
Well,
What's up to you? Whatever you want. It's your show.
I hear you. I hear you. I ran across a great illustration the other day.
Of who?
Let me run this out and see if I can pull it up on my Photoshop. That's how coordinated I am.
Oh, please.
see if
You're
I can
doing
pull
the
it up.
Randy Rawson.
But I thought it would be great to show off on Sunday Funnies. In fact, I was thinking of making it the backdrop here for at least a show or two, especially if we get around to talking about the subject. But and it's really what struck me with it is that it's really true. It's a collection. Oh, let me find it here. Give me just a second. As
No
I
hurries. No hurries.
climb up. Yeah, we're really today is the day for lack of coordination. As we wait for other people to pop in and keep the conversation rolling. Rolling, I should say. Not rolling.
Oh,
Roland. Roland will be here next week if he can get up
So-
early enough.
Yeah. So Tim, I'm the point you gave about being an editor and looking for writer
Yeah.
pitches, having my own publishing house and looking for a writer for my own series 2 years ago, I had exactly the same problem. I got 21 submissions, out of which 2 actually knew how to write a script.
Mhm.
And the other ones pretty much had a moderately successful poem on DeviantArt in 2005. You know
Oh my
exactly
God.
the kind of
Yeah.
people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's sad, and I am not here to bash writers because I need them as an artist. I have zero imagination, so I need good writers, but to be able to find them, oh man, it can
Right.
be a hassle.
Take a look at this. This isn't necessarily a new picture, but it is an awesome picture.
Let's have a look.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you can see that, this is all of the characters that were inspired by the original Captain Marvel,
Well, a lot of them were named.
Oh,
Captain
nice.
or were named Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Look at that.
there's Monica Rambeau on the left, who was named Captain Marvel for a while before her name was changed to Photon.
And
Carol
should have always
Danvers
stayed
was
Captain
Ms.
Marvel, in my
Marvel.
opinion. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there, the guy in front there is the dead Captain Marvel, Marvel.
Yes,
Hmm.
that was one of the greatest graphic novels that I've seen ever. That was one of the first ones I ever read.
Yeah, it was the first from
The
Marvel.
Death of Captain Marvel.
The Death
Oh,
of
that
Captain
was
Marvel. Jim
incredible.
Yes,
That's
great book.
right, Jim
Mm.
Starlin. Oh, he's amazing.
And of course, here in the middle is the C.C. Beck versions of Captain Marvel and Billy Batson.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but if you can stare at this for hours, and some of these characters, I have no idea who they are. I got to tell you.
You got Mazinger Z.
But
Dear
there's
God.
so much of it is influenced by the idea or the theme of Captain Marvel, or being able to say a magic word and change into another character.
There's Ben 10 with his grandpa. Dear God.
He-Man in the background here.
He-Man.
Yeah.
All of the different Marvels. Adam Warlock.
Oh.
He's got a lightning bolt on his chest. Look at that. Back here on the side is Shazam from here, a real tall, the genie here holding the kids in his hand. That's Shazam from the old Hanna-Barbera days. along with Mighty Mightor here right across from him, the caveman looking hero with the
Yeah.
club. Mighty Mightor, just classic stuff. And he's got a Superman diamond rock tied around his neck. I never noticed that before. That's pretty cool.
It's
But-
just so much fun to look at the like I've seen more of them in the past, and it's always fun to be like, oh, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hoppy the Marvel Bunny is there. Yeah. A lot of these guys, you know, if it hadn't been for Captain Marvel, wouldn't have existed. And if Captain Marvel hadn't been so successful, they would have never been created. Like Marvel Man here on the far left,
Mhm.
that the MM on his chest. Prime is back there from the Ultraverse. Real obvious, convenient lift, shall we say, from or updating of the Billy Batson theme. Back behind Prime there is Mighty Samson, clasping his bracelets together.
Mm.
Young kid with a set of magic bracelets and his dog that changes into a lion. He's down here to the right. Also characters from Hanna-Barbera. Next to him, pulling on his belt, is Sinbad, the mighty sailor. That was an old
Oh.
cartoon back when I was a kid. That was an old
Yeah.
cartoon when I was a kid. Long time ago. Classic stuff. Well, you could stare at this picture for hours and see different characters. And like I said, I don't know everybody here. Captain Tootsie, I see back here right below the original Captain Marvel.
Oh my
So he was the icon for Tootsie Rolls.
You're
Wow.
kidding.
No,
That's
Captain
Oh my
awesome.
that CC Beck did. He's got a T on his chest, got a red shirt, blue pants. Captain Tootsie.
Yeah, long history of selling snacks with superheroes.
There we are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
Remember
so-
all those great Hostess Pie commercials that we used to love reading when we were kids.
I'm still waiting.
Well, maybe not we, but when I was a kid.
That has so many terrible connotations and innuendos nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting. Captain Marvel to me is real fat. I did a 3-part video series that you can find over on the Arrow Comics 4.0 channel about the history of Captain Marvel, because CC Beck Captain Marvel, the Fawcett Captain Marvel just was sold so well back in the 40s and early 50s, very early 50s, that it spawned all of these different incarnations, because it was such an iconic idea, such a great whimsical, magical thing. The little boy that or a kid that has a magic word that changes him into a big time superhero.
I mean, it's still going. You know,
Still.
Mhm.
like, yeah, Ben 10 started like what, 10, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
And
Oh, probably
it's-
longer than that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Probably closer to 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dear, my God. I mean, I'm in the Netherlands, so we got things late. So, you know,
Yeah.
it had to be dubbed first.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, just classic stuff. You can stare at this picture for
Yeah.
hours. Just incredible. A little bit of a lot of Alex Ross in this, here and there. The more you look at it, the more you see it. Just phenomenal. There's Captain Marvel. Next to the Marvel's current Captain Marvel, the guy that's just the head with the mask, that's the another version of Captain Marvel. That also ties back to that purple body that's to the right of that. And that was, and I can't remember the guy's name, but it's in my video thing. He decided that Captain Marvel hadn't been used for so long that the name was in public domain, and he wasn't about to let it rest. So he created a character called Captain Marvel that could split his body up when he said the word split.
Ah.
So, you know, he had an arm flying in one direction, a leg flying in another direction, and his head wandering who knows where.
Perfect.
Just great, goofy stuff. And then way in the back here, if you look far enough back, and I got to pull it down here. Give me a second to pull that down. One of my favorite oddball characters, and I have an affection for oddball old characters. This guy up here in the green, that's up in the upper right corner, that's got the little flying saucer and superimposed back behind him. That's Fat Man, the human flying saucer,
He orbits.
which was a creation of CC Bex after he left Fawcett.
All right.
He created a kid, an overweight kid that would turn into Fat Man as a superhero. And he's got Captain Marvel's outfit on, only it's green and yellow instead of red and yellow, with no lightning bolt, obviously, on the chest. He's got a flying saucer on his chest. And then when he had to, he turned into a flying saucer.
Huh.
Is that like Turbo Team, where like the kid jumps, like he drives his Corvette into like a molecular combiner, and then he's like, "I am now Turbo Team." So he turns into a car or something like that.
That could be, yes.
Entirely possible.
That's some really psychedelic stuff, man. They must have I don't know. There must have been something really extra in that tea that they were drinking when they made that guy up, man. I'm telling you.
Crazy times. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you know.
That's back when the drugs were pure.
Yeah, that was the 80s.
Yeah.
That's when the Mets were like their own drug farm.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh my God.
Up above, in the front, CC Beck's Captain Marvel. Up above his left shoulder is another character there with a sunburst on his chest. That's Captain Thunder.
That's lovely. That's
And that was used in a few, at least one issue of Superman back in the 70s. Because during that period, they were, that was actually the original name for Captain Marvel was Captain Thunder.
I think that's correct. That is correct.
I believe they decided to change that because there was a Johnny Thunder over at DC already. So they changed it to Captain Marvel because Marvel hadn't been out. Marvel Comics #1 was just coming out just as they were creating Captain Marvel. So the name was a coincidence. But Captain Thunder here was used in a Superman, at least one Superman I remember when I was a kid, because they rented the property of Captain Marvel from Fawcett. So every time they used the Billy Batson Captain Marvel, they had to pay Fawcett money. So instead they redid Captain Thunder, or they redid the Captain Marvel idea and turned it into Captain Thunder just so Superman could fight him in an issue.
Your knowledge is just
But anyway.
incredible. Your knowledge of all of comics is absolutely incredible.
Like I said, it's just a passion. You know, I love this, and it's so fascinating. Captain Marvel is especially because he was selling millions of copies, and he was selling millions of copies every other week. You know, Captain Marvel Adventures was a bi-weekly comic on the stands. It used to drive national periodicals crazy because it was so popular. And they had sent him a cease and desist before the war happened, and they in Fawcett's also an amazing company once you get into it. Fawcett just basically ignored it and kept going because they said, well, the character's magic based and all of this. They had their own reasons for not doing it. And then what really ticked National off, or DC, it became DC, was the idea that Captain Marvel got turned into a serial. And you saw there in the in this illustration back behind Captain Marvel, there's a black and white version of him standing there. Captain Marvel, the Shazam Captain Marvel, was the first live action superhero character that ever went to the theaters. And it really ticked national periodicals off because they had already given the rights to Fleischer Studios for the Superman cartoons.
Oh my God.
They couldn't do a live action serial with them for a few years, until they wrestled the rights back from the Fleischer Studios.
That's incredible.
So they did a couple of serials of Superman after that, Superman versus Adaman, and there's a couple other ones. But it upset them so much that they finally took Captain Marvel to court. And that court battle lasted for years because they would bring up stuff that Shazam Captain Marvel had done that Superman did first. And then the Fawcett lawyers would bring up an issue of Popeye showing that Popeye actually did it before Superman did it. Whatever feat that they were talking about. And that went on for years and years. They were arguing that it was a trope more than a copyright. And eventually they surrendered when they stopped the lawsuit. They came to an agreement that they'd stop printing Captain Marvel. But DC, in their short-sightedness, never asked for the rights for the character.
Ooh.
And Fawcett, again, like I said, a very interesting company, because they already thumbed their nose at DC a couple of times, because they had a Superman clone originally called Master Man. This was before World War II. That was in Master Comics. That's how that title started. And DC sent them a cease and desist, and they went, "Oh, you're right," and stopped. And then they created Captain Marvel off of Captain Thunder. That was supposed to be in an issue of Flash Comics, which is a title they were talking about starting. There's ash cans of that all over the place. That they couldn't do Flash Comics because suddenly DC started a Flash Comics. So they did Whiz Comics instead, off of a publication that Fawcett had printed earlier. Had originally started publishing when Fawcett started publishing, called Captain Billy's Whiz Bang. So they called it Whiz Comics and put the Shazam Captain Marvel in that. And the rest is just history. But instead of, when they stopped publishing, the last issue of the Marvel Family comic, and they had a Marvel Family comic because they were the first ones to really take a property and just milk it. All over. There's Captain Marvel. There was Captain Marvel Jr., Mary Marvel, 3 Lieutenant Marvels. Anybody that was named Billy Batson could turn into a Captain Marvel, just if they knew the Shazam word. And it was just fascinating how they milked it. But they had a Marvel Family comic that ran for 80 to 100 issues at least, and that they were making so much money off of that during the war because everybody was desperate just to lose themselves with entertainment. That the last issue of the Marvel Family, which was one of the last issues that Fawcett printed, one of the last comics Fawcett printed, had the entire Marvel Family disappearing on the cover, and it was so prophetic, because they were like going, "Where did they go? The Marvel Family disappears," and then that was it. They never published again.
Oh wow!
So all the way
Randy,
through
can I ask you a
Fawcett's.
question?
Pardon?
Can I ask you
What?
a question?
Sure.
I'd like to ask you a question. Where I know Captain America was largely used for for the soldiers in World War II. As like to cheer them up, propaganda and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, look, Captain America's punching Hitler in the face. Was any alliteration of Captain Marvel ever used for anything? Something like that?
Oh well, yeah. Once the war started, everybody became patriotic. So they have there's a great cover out there with Captain Marvel aiming one of the guns at Japan. There was another one where he's oversized and he's chasing the Axis group away, and it's like I don't know if that's got the actual words, and forgive the slang, but I think the cover's got the word "slap a Jap" on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
But,
that's how it was in the time. That was 80 years ago, man. That's
yeah,
how it
but
was.
at the time, the propaganda on all of comics really turned pro, in American comics really turned pro America.
Yeah.
But Captain America was really started because Simon and Kirby were disgruntled about Hitler's treatment of the Jews before we got into the war.
Yeah.
So the cover of Captain America 1, where he's punching Hitler, was really controversial when it came out, and in fact upset a lot of pro Germany sentiment here in the States.
Yeah.
And Simon and Kirby both were threatened with violence, and both of them invited the folks to come down to the offices or meet them out in the street so that they could talk it out, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Oh, Kirby would have beat the crap out of all of them.
The urban legend is that Kirby was down there waiting for them, and they never showed up.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would not be surprised.
No.
I'm dead serious. Kirby looks like he could knock out a few people in one punch. I would not mess with a man like that.
No, little guy, big powerhouse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One is gonna sock all hit right in the jaw.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Well, he always gave that gruff assumption, the attitude of the Thing from the Fantastic Four and the Yancey Street Gang all came out of Kirby.
Yeah.
That was
Really?
Kirby's upbringing right there, and that was really Kirby's attitude. If you ever see an interview with him, and there's a lot of them over on YouTube, he is a very Brooklyn, rough individual that even in his older age didn't take any crap.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, forget it. Yeah, that's all I needed to know. Because I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I mean, that's crazy.
But
Hey,
yeah,
now
just-
you have a whole bunch of writers and artists all tweeting each other to death.
And if Glenn Fleming was here, he'd be talking about his book because he actually got to go over to Kirby's house twice
Wow.
and visit with him and Roz, Kirby's wife. Got to spend the evening with him. That's Jack Kirby, A Personal Journey, Words and Pictures, and that's available right now over on I believe it's Indiegogo that he's offering that. It's a great hardbound book. It's a collection of photographs and a recollection of his conversation with Kirby the 2 times that he was there. And he's also got a DVD that goes with that because he was able to take a camera, a film camera with him on one of his stays. And it's really again, I'm a lover of history. It's really a historical noting of not the work that he did, but the person that he was.
Yeah.
And it's so important to put that kind of person, that kind of work into perspective.
That's really awesome.
So it's really an awesome book.
It's an honor. It would be that's an honor for anybody who's ever even considered picking up a comic book. And for Glenn to do that twice, man.
It's
That's more than just considerable. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's off to Glenn for doing that. Yeah, as soon as I get paid this week, I will absolutely back that book. I want a copy of those. I got to see what he says. He finds what he does and how he found all that stuff. That's awesome. Man. Really
And
is.
if you're watching right now, you're seeing a rich ink, and you see that great ink stain sitting on his thumb. That's a trophy for all inkers. It's once you're done, you have to go wash your hands in order to knock all of the ink off of it, and even then, sometimes it sticks around. So,
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
was one of your fingers? Yes, the hallmark of an artist. Rich, was one of your fingers permanently stained for a while with ink? Did you ever have a hard time washing that off? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I once in a while, if I'm like fidgety, I have a little bit of a habit of biting my cuticles every so often. And one time, the ink just got under the cut, and it actually almost acted like a tattoo. So some of the
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
fermented under part of the skin.
Right.
So I was like, well, am I going to have poison now or what? And it turns out I didn't. So I am alive.
Well, if
Some people that would be.
yeah, exactly.
That's messed up, right,
Quite a bit.
Randy?
But you end up with this great callus. I've got this callus on my finger. I'm left-handed, and I'm not flipping anybody off. But the way that I held the pen, it would sit right there, and it caused a callus right next to the finger. And I haven't inked anything in a long time, though. I still hold a stylus. Like
I still got the bump. Yeah.
And you're sitting there concentrating, and you don't think about that callus bump that grows right there on that finger. Yeah. I inked quite a bit when I was a kid. Yeah, when I had the good eyesight to do it. Yeah.
And the thing about your eyesight starts to go after a while because you're so intensely staring at this relatively small area of paper. It's just you pull back and you're like, wait, what? Sometimes your scale is a little messed up.
Yeah, you really have to pull back quite often. I keep egg timers around that encourage me to get up or to stop working whenever I'm in the middle of a big job, just to pull away from it.
Yeah, I just have a cat who takes care of that because she will, try and invade my personal space whenever I'm right into it.
Yep.
I know you posted a picture on Facebook earlier of her sitting on or him, of your cat sitting on your work.
Yeah, no, look, she's right here.
There she is. Yeah.
Acting like a little baby while she's a very, very big kitty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've got one too, but I keep her out of the basement. So.
Yeah,
I'm not bothered by her every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I cannot close a door in this house, except for, the bathroom, because she will start scratching and be annoyed and start panicking. Because God forbid she loses sight.
Yeah. My cat does that in the middle of the night. But whenever I'm upstairs, he's right there. He comes jumping up or sits next to me or whatever in the big easy chair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Going back to the chat, I've been neglecting you, and I'm sorry. Up there in the chat, I'm going to have to climb up here in just a minute.
The people who are chatting are unimportant. Only we are important.
There we
That's
go.
BS. They keep the story going.
Writing a script is such a different experience. Spectre Man was inspired by Captain Marvel. I'm not quite sure who Spectre Man is, but if there's a reason he's on that page, so yeah.
I saw Mighty Mightor was in there.
Because it's a kid that has a club, and he yells, what is it, Mightor, I think he yells.
Mightor! And then it vibrates, and it's like 5 sizes or something.
And then he becomes...
that was the Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Yep, and then it becomes Judge Hiram Mightor and Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Yes! Oh my God, I love that show.
Everybody has different contextual references, but for me, it was the original Mightor cartoon that really got me. There was a whole slew of superheroes there that were created by Alex Toth at the for the Hanna-Barbera Studios. Space Ghost, Birdman, Galaxy Trio, Mighty Mightor, all the way through Young Samson and Goliath, all the way through Super Friends, really, because Toth did a lot of the character sheets for the original Super Friends run, and he talks his story. He had a story about going home one weekend and having to create another team or another group of heroes for them because they wanted more diversity in the on the show, even back then. So he came back with Rima, Black Vulcan, because they didn't want to use Black Lightning because of rights issues, and Joni Isabella was at the time quite a pain at the offices, from what I understand, and they really didn't want to use Black Lightning very much. I won't say pain because he was out just looking after his rights, and I'm sorry I said that, but he was looking after the rights for a character that he created that for residuals he was due. So what else did Apache Chief, and there was one other character, I can't recall it right off the bat, but that whole second wave of Super Friend characters that seemed original, he went home for a weekend and came back with all the character sheets for it.
Wow.
That's crazy. He created Apache Chief, Samurai.
Yes, Samurai. Yeah.
Oh God, Rima.
Literally over a weekend. Here we go.
Did he also create El Dorado, that guy who would like put the cloak over him and then disappear or something like that? I used to love those Super Friends cartoons. Those were so awesome.
I honestly don't remember. I don't remember El Dorado.
But he was there for like a minute or two. He was there for like one season, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how lame I am. I'm not to say that anybody else is lame for remembering it. I'm just like I'm remembering a very obscure character from a cartoon over 40 years ago.
Oh, hey, I just pulled up a picture of all these crazy characters that were associated with Captain Marvel. So
yeah, but look at that beautiful. No, you picked it, based on the drawing that you saw. Is that Alex Ross?
No, that's a collage of different pictures, all put together in Photoshop. Some of it is Alex Ross, yes. Some of it is, but most of it isn't.
Yeah, because there were a couple of images that were there that looked like Alex Ross would have painted it.
Yeah, in front here, Fred McMurray,
like the old guy all the way in the back.
Oh, definitely.
He did that, and then all of a sudden he decided to get lazy and do all the other guys.
No.
way that Randy went out.
I'm pretty sure it's not. It's not an Alex Ross picture. I think somebody else, who had a lot of time on their hands, went through and found all of these individual pictures and
Sure and hell.
put them together. I could be wrong though. I'm definitely willing to be wrong on that. You never know. It might just be a picture made out of the passion of the character by Alex. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't-
Either way, you can see Fred McMurray down here in the lower left corner because that was the inspiration for
The lower left?
the lower right. Sorry,
The
in
lower right. Yeah, Fred McMurray.
The lower right. That's Fred McMurray from My Three Sons.
Right, I remember that.
Huh.
So he was the original inspiration for Captain Marvel,
Wow. Oh, that's.
for the Captain Marvel.
Oh my God! I could see that.
Yeah.
I could actually see that if I really think about it. Remember Fred McMurray's face? I remember that. I could see how that is.
Especially in the very early drawings, they had, the origin story. They really used his likeness on that.
Wow, that's awesome.
But CC, like Alex Toth, was amazing because they came to a realization of what comics were supposed to be back when they were creating them. So they stripped all the detail away because CC Beck came from a very heavy advertising background. When he got a chance to do comics, he stripped his style way down to just basic lines and lots of open spaces for big blocks of color. That's why Captain Marvel looks the way that he does. And Billy Batson has dots for eyes, that kind of thing.
I think
Say what now? You're kind of dropping out, Rich.
Forgive me for interrupting earlier, Randy. A lot of illustrated ad campaigns. I mean, they had to be done quickly, but forgive me. A lot of illustrated ad campaigns in the 40s and 50s. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me at all?
You're drifting in and out.
Yeah.
Tim, I'm sorry, we're not talking enough. We're not keeping you awake enough.
That's all right.
I can see over there.
No,
Exactly.
Seeing Tootsie Man was making me think of combo.
How about now?
Man.
Can you hear me, Randy?
Yes, you're fine, Rich.
Yes, that's
You're good.
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seeing Captain Tootsie, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, Captain Tootsie reminded me of Combo Man, which, if you remembers, that was Marvel doing an ad campaign with Combos, the snack.
Uh-huh.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's,
Well, what I was trying to say before is a lot of the ads, the adverts in the 40s and the 50s, a lot of them are fully illustrated.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one illustration, but they took. I mean, you were allowed like maybe I'd like to think of more than a few days just to finish that illustration.
Mm-hmm.
He probably not so much watered down, but just made his illustration simpler because of the fact that a comic involves a hell of a lot more illustrations than just one, and he had to get it out on a monthly basis.
Well, yeah, but and now I'm looking at the Franco-Belgian side of comics because
That's where
it
you're
actually
from.
shows up in there. So in the early 50s, you would get the clean line style that became very popular. Dots for eyes, minimalistic characters, very clear shapes, and backgrounds that convey just enough to, get the whole point across.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, I think a lot of creators, especially from back then, because you had Tintin and stuff like that were becoming big over in the United States as well, where, yeah, you could downgrade the amount of detail per panel with ease as long as you conveyed the story. And that kind of mindset got less and less from what I've seen in American comics, and here it's still like whatever, as long as it works.
Yeah, it does. As long as it works, as long as it's lovely. And a lot of the simpler stuff usually is really lovely because it's part of our youth.
Well, I mean, it's
Part of what
not
we
only
grew up
that,
with.
but what you got to keep in mind is that you are able to finish a lot more work in a lot shorter time, which is always a plus.
Yes, it is.
But there's powers in simplicity as well. A lot of implied texture, a lot of simpler characters that can be very much more expressive because they have less detail.
Yeah.
You can stretch and pull a lot more than you can with a 90s character.
Well, with CC and Alex Toth, they stripped their styles down in order to be faster.
Yeah.
And CC was churning out a lot of stuff, and plus his style was easy to mimic, so he could go through and find a couple of apprentices and keep Captain Marvel with a certain look, certain feel, a certain appeal to it. With Alex, he really learned to strip things down real hard for commercial art reasons. And when he was doing all of those storyboards for, or not storyboards, but character sheets for Hanna-Barbera, he knew, and this is part of the cynicism of Alex Toth, and everybody knew he was very cynical, that he would be having numbskulls following his, in his words, following his character sheet. So he had to keep it simple. So and he couldn't trust the talent of anybody that was working. In fact, there's a beautiful book. There's a couple of books out there actually of his character sheets that have been done. And back when he was doing the character sheet work for Three Musketeers for the cartoon, he was really irritated at the way that they were displaying sword fighting. So he spent, there's sheets upon sheets of proper sword play to try to get these
awesome.
to try to get these animators to do something that looked something close to correct.
No, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man, that's terrible.
Well, that's Alex was what a great curmudgeon, and if something wasn't right, he wasn't afraid to say it. And there's a phenomenal article out there. Steve Rude, if you know who Steve is, did Nexus, and for a while, Steve Rude sent him a Johnny Quest story one time to critique, and Alex did it.
Oh detail. Boy!
Oh no!
And yeah, and it's a classic lesson in sequential art and storytelling, but it's from the eyes of a curmudgeon. What the hell did you do this for? Don't do that. Don't do this. Change this around. This isn't right. You want to be simple. You want to get the character's eye or get the reader's eye, grab it, and then send it. That kind of stuff. And it's just an amazing piece. And Steve let it be published. The pictures and the critique, the pictures he sent and the critique he had, because initially he was just stunned by the brashness of the letter. But once he thought about it for a minute, he was absolutely right in every aspect that he was telling you. And it was a great lesson, like I said, in sequential art.
A good critique for a start or for an artist is one that leaves you crying knowing that they're right. It's one of the best compliments you can get as an artist. Just have someone completely rip your work off to go, and this is how you do it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, if you ever get a chance to see Alex Toth's character sheets, IDW's got a great bound volume out, and there was almost like an underground book called Alex Toth in Design that I want to say Darryl McNeil coordinated with Alex. He went over to Alex's house and saw this file cabinet filled with old photostats of all of his character sheets.
God.
And Alex said, "Yeah, if you think you can put those together into a book and sell it, go ahead." So they put them all together into a book, and
then they sold it.
Printed 10,000 copies, sold it for $25. It was a thick trade paperback book. And the minute I saw it, I'm like, I gotta have this, and I should have bought more, because as soon as Hanna-Barbera saw it, they sent him a cease and desist and told him to never do that again. Never. Because to Alex, working in animation was a gig. It was just a job. It was like doing any type of, oddball commercial artwork. And he really, on a certain level, detested doing it, but had to do it in order to make money. But if you go in and you look at the design work, the simplicity of the design, he did everything from if you remember Johnny Quest, the characters that were all in black, out in the jungle, I think it was, with just two little open white spaces for eyes and a little like double T on their chest. He designed that all the way through all of the villains and rocket ships for Josie and the Pussycats in outer space.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
that is awesome.
Oh, man, I remember that show.
And he
Also, I think you haven't noticed, Randy, but Michael Odin is in.
oh yeah, he's there. Hey,
downstairs.
Mike. Yeah. I had noticed he popped into the green room. Thanks.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, I kind of
Mike.
figured. Hey.
Hello,
Michael
sir.
Odin in the house with no camera. Introduce yourself.
What's up, everyone? My name is Michael Odin from Nine Realms Publishing. I've been hanging out in the chat listening to everyone talk, and I figured, you know what? I'll hop on for a sec. I've also got the little guy here. That's why I have the camera off. Is he's
Not
not
a
allowed
problem.
to be on camera.
Yeah.
But James, you want to say hi?
Hi,
Hi.
Oh,
Hey.
hello. Hello,
Awesome.
sir.
Hello.
I'm here at my house with Lily, Nita, and my dad,
Oh,
Yeah.
Aw.
Sweet.
and my grandma.
Oh,
My
good.
grandma.
Good.
But yeah, really fun topics of discussion. So I figured I'd come in and chat for a bit. I do actually have a question for Tim TK. I had put it in the comments, but I figured
Okay.
give him
I
a
haven't
chance
I haven't
to
gotten
talk.
that far yet, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, dude, you're all good.
Go ahead and ask your question.
All right, so you were talking about how there's a
We
big
need to keep Tim awake anyway.
yeah, exactly. This is why
The sun
I'm here.
is
We're going
just
to keep you on
coming
your
out.
toes. So you were
Yeah.
talking about how Roman mythology plays a big influence on your project. So
Yes.
when you say Roman mythology, are you talking more about the Augustan divine imperial cult, or are you talking about the Etrusco Greek mythology that you have just like their basic pantheon, where it's like the Greek pantheon with different names, and then you
Yeah.
have like certain figures like Vesta and Janus and what have you?
So this more so for this part of it, it's higher level, so it is a lot more with the Etruscan Greek base pantheon,
Okay.
but with elements of the cult pulled in. So you'll see parts of where that comes in. We get into like law of domain and all that fun stuff, but
Yeah.
Let's not get too technical here because we have a comic book reading audience. So
yes, yeah.
and I don't mean to demean the audience, but yeah.
You
Yeah,
are
so-
right.
yeah.
We're talking over our heads now. We're not all the way up on the different mythological
I was-
periods.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where Roman mythology is this very weird hodgepodge of a whole bunch of different things, and then they Rome kind of had this whole aspect to it, whereas like it kind of borrowed from a whole bunch of different cultures, especially as it went along, because it covered
Because
such a
they
wide...
absorbed a lot of different cultures
Yeah,
as
exactly.
they went along.
But
Yeah.
it's also a good political. Once they were looking at bringing like Egypt into the fold as like a partner state, they're like, all right, great. I guess we'll make Ra a demigod. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they would find like mythological figures from different cultures and be like, oh, this is their equivalent of our god, and they would do like a lot. In England, probably the most prominent example would be like Sulis. They saw as a version of their Minerva or Athena. So there was a lot of cults of Sulis and everything like that.
Yeah.
But like it was just one of those things where when you were talking about Greek mythology, I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
a Roman mythology. Like, my ears have perked up.
Yes.
As most people here know, that's kind of my whole wheel. That's one of my big wheelhouses. So I figured I'd ask.
Definitely, yeah. The three main like players on like a divine level for the story that is being currently penciled and inked are Sol Invictus, Terra, and
bringing in the sun god of Aurelian.
Oh yeah,
Good decisions.
Yep. So it's it deals more with sort of that scale, but parts of the imperial cult play into the certain deifications and all that.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
yeah.
Like, and that's the that's definitely where Roman mythology definitely gets its own identity, is because you have the whole aspect of, well, most of the emperors get deified after they die, unless they're like, unless you have people like, when it comes down to like characters like Nero or Commodus, where they were just despised by the aristocratic elite. Like those were the only real exceptions, but most emperors became gods upon death as a part of the way to carry on the tradition that Augustus started.
Pale Rider in the house says, "Hail, Frog G and chat and panel, except for Mike Jimmy."
Yes.
Well, screw you too.
Yeah, that's messed up, Pale Rider. How dare you?
And all hail Bacchus.
Yes.
One of my favorite gods, by the way.
Cheers to that.
All hail Bacchus, the goddess of wine.
I have a movie. I have a movie screenplay one of these days. I'm going to write about Bacchus.
Yes.
Also early to break up the wine for me over here, but yep.
Sorry to kill the conversation, but
no, you're all good.
No.
It's
all
chat's important.
Joe Bacchus. Okay.
Oh.
There you go.
Joe Bacchus. Wasn't he the guy who played Thurston Howell III in Gilligan's Island?
That was Jim Bacchus, I believe.
I knew
spelling
that.
also.
God, what? I have no life.
I was amazed. When I was under, for the months I was under, I was watching a lot of Turner Classic movies because I couldn't move and was laying in bed. Didn't want to watch pizza commercials. But there was an old movie on, and I perked right up when I heard that voice because it was Mrs. Howell. I'm like, wow, she was a hottie in her day. Holy crap.
Oh, they were all gorgeous. Lucille Ball, I would not say no to if I met her when she was in her 20s and 30s. I'd be like, come on,
she was very cute as well. Yep.
Angela Lansbury's like that as well.
Oh yeah,
I know. Oh my God, we're
very
all
much so.
wow. We're all
Like
hot for old women.
If you see any of those early pictures of Helen Mirren, holy crap!
Yes.
I just remember finding a picture of Lansbury playing Milady de Winter in one of the old Three Musketeers films, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Yes.
They would. I'm like, yep, I would. I'd toss.
I'll post those on Facebook every once in a while. I've got a couple of sites that pull up old pinup pictures like that are just early Joan Collins too. It's just cute as a button. Yeah. Beautiful.
Helen Mirren is. Ooh.
Yeah, you have to look at that 2 or 3 times, and then I'm like, she was in Caligula. Oh,
yes,
I might have to go back and watch
Caligula.
That movie
You're like,
again.
all right, let's do this one.
I'd have to
Oh
dig that
man,
one
that's
up
better
again.
than porn.
Well, it was porn to certain people.
Wow.
Who was the director of that one? Who directed that movie?
I don't know. I just remember that Penthouse backed it pretty hard. Penthouse magazine.
Yeah, I remember that. I know Malcolm McDowell was in that, so
Yeah,
he got some Helen Mirren magic in there too. But God,
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate you, Malcolm McDowell. You got the old in out with Helen Mirren. Damn you.
Nothing like a great Clockwork Orange reference for Sunday Funnies.
Yes.
Always great.
Yes.
I'm getting to the point where I'm so caffeinated. I'm feeling like the movie scene. Just
Let's be careful.
yeah.
Oh man.
No, this is usually the part where I start feeling young again.
Yeah. They don't make movies like they used to at all nowadays, you know.
They certainly.
That's
they
right,
certainly
old
don't.
man.
No.
I know. No nip slips, no Helen Mirren running around screwing everybody. No. Now it's superheroes.
I saw Logan's Run on Turner Classic Movies.
Ooh,
other
the
day.
original one with Richard.
The original one. And I was amazed.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the way through that, I'm like, wow. You know,
I know. They didn't care.
Holy crap.
The 70s were the 70 movies were awash with boobies all over the place, man. Unapologetic.
All about freedom of expression, man. It's all
yes.
what it was about.
Yeah, I was all for it. I'm like, yeah, please keep going.
Going braless and topless was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Nostalgia.
I love all that stuff.
That
was yummy.
In the 70s was a lot sexier than feminism is now.
Yeah.
That is for
free
sure.
the nipple. That is true. That is true. Now it's like blue land whales. The ones who want to be expressive.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Bill Ryder says that wasn't messed up. This is messed up. I was in our class with some very religious girls. I painted myself as Dionysus,
Dionysus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dionysus,
yeah.
with two of the girls and told them they could call me Jesus.
Yeah.
They were pissed. They threatened to
Outstanding.
burn
Well
it.
played.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my God.
Goodness
Love
gracious.
it. Love it.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I dig it. I dig it so much. This is
I am
too
loving
damn
that
funny.
Oscar, Rich.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, man. Well,
Yes.
let me get it around. There you go.
It was very
Ta-da.
Yeah.
Tim, I want to tell you how much we appreciate you being here today. Is there anything
man.
that you wanted to promote from Silverline?
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now, what do we got running?
right now on our Kickstarter, we have.
Is there a link we should throw up in the chat so folks can take a look at?
Oh, probably.
I really appreciate you being here,
Yeah.
and we should talk.
Gee, that's
more
not
about wine.
vague.
Yes.
We don't see too many. We don't see too many editors. So
Yeah,
we
no.
don't,
This is
man.
really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, so I just put there, but we have a Kickstarter going. That is Sirens #1 remix and Wolf Hunter #1. We're 80, actually almost $70 away from our first stretch goal. But
Nice.
that is, I wrote Wolf Hunter. That was the comic that I had blind pitched to an artist out there, and that one is. It's a World War II spy story set in an alternate history.
Give me a second. Give me just a second to pull that up here.
Sure. But some fun, high level history. The current estimations is that during the time of World War II, there were 6 German spies in the English government that went undetected, and so Churchill had commissioned part of the Special Operations Executive, which later became MI6, for those of you like James Bond, to essentially operate and commit and do counterintelligence operations on English soil. So this follows the story of a wounded RAF group captain who's more or less pretty skilled in the forensic psychology before it's really a thing that's taught. Yeah, he's just very good at reading people because he's a good commanding officer. So he gets commissioned to essentially run counterintelligence up on the Tizard mission, which brought radar to the United States to manufacture it, put it in the Spitfires and the Hurricanes, and actually allowed England to break out of the blockade. Without that, D-Day never happens. So German spy steals the prototype, and it's up to our RAF group captain Willard to essentially become a human lie detector and figure out who had stolen it and where their affiliations lie in a stuck on a day train from London to Liverpool. So it's Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy meets Murder on the Orient with a lot of very cool machines. The artist who worked on that was a manual artist for the military, so he had all your handy dandy IKEA manuals that you got in the field that told you how to turn your tank on. He had done the machinery for those, and so we have very accurate machines in the comic. So at some point, you do actually see the an actual top-down view of the Rolls-Royce engine that went into Hawker Hurricane right there.
Good God.
Oh, that is awesome.
That is.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Who was the artist on this?
AJ
This is
Cassetta.
Incredible.
Okay,
Yeah, so I got to do a lot of fun.
great looking stuff.
So I got to do a lot of fun noir storytelling set in a World War II spy setting. It was pretty fun. Yeah.
That's really cool, man. Very early Ian Fleming-esque as far as concept is concerned.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's Ian Fleming and John Le Carre were huge influences when I was writing that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sirens #1. This is a comic that I think it was Arcane had published this back in the 90s. And Silverline was the package at the time, and now Silverline retained the rights. Essentially, is able to republish it now with new lines and new color.
Very tight storytelling. Multiple
Yeah.
tiers, small
Yeah.
panels, a lot of
Yeah.
story going on there.
Yeah, this was a horror comic that's put out by Sid Williams, who was actually one of my professors in school. So it's kind of funny.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So this is a horror story set in New Orleans, following a investment banker on vacation during Mardi Gras, and he finds himself seduced by a loup-garou, and as the fault of that, finds himself cursed and slowly becoming a zombie. And so now he has to do his own little bit of detective work, uncovering the secrets of the cults in New Orleans and figuring out how to undo the curse that's been placed upon him.
Gotcha.
That is awesome.
Cool. Lots of add-ons, lots of other Silverline comics
Oh, yeah.
available.
And the I also probably point of reference, the Kickstarter exclusive cover for Wolf Hunter was done by Stephen Butler.
Which one was that? The
That
one
is
here on top?
that one.
That one?
Yeah.
Because I knew that looked familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, that art
That is
style.
Beautiful.
Just gorgeous. Yep. Very
Oh, that's
reminiscent of those great old DC war comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice stuff.
So that is currently what all my social media feeds are promoting.
And the pledges start at $8 for a digital double for a PDF file. 18 Silverline double feature book.
Yeah, you get the classic style flip book, so it's both books are in one print package.
Yep.
Nice.
Once you're done going halfway in on one book, you turn it over and get a whole another book to read.
Yep.
So retailer pack for a pledge of 20 or more. The completest pledge for 60 or more.
Gets you all the alternate covers and a few extras. Like I said, we're about $70 away from our first stretch goal, which is going to be some bookmarks at around 2,000, a quarter to 3,000. Will be a like a digital director's thing where I'll be doing like a commentary issue to put out for the digital copy.
Sweet.
Very nice.
Very nice. Variant covers. Lots of variant covers.
Yep. Yeah. The top variant, we call that our impeccably British cover because it feels very British. But
It does.
yeah, and the colors on this are done by Martin Mertonen, who I believe is newer to the scene, but it's very much on the same page, and that we wanted to kind of the interior to feel like a French comic. So you'll notice like a lot of the same pastels and shading.
Sure.
And so if you're
Got
into
plenty of
Euro
those back
comics,
there.
yeah, if you like French comics or Euro comics, like the colors should hopefully evoke that same kind of feeling.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, because look at that use of yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
That's ridiculous. That's so damn good.
Yeah.
Well, when you're drawing machinery like that, you really have to know know what you're drawing. You know.
Yeah, and that's
I would think.
yeah, and that's something I mention whenever I'm talking to like people who like occasionally talk with like students at Full Sail, or now sometimes I do like since I've been editing for a while, I've started doing kind of portfolio review type.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's the same in print publishing, but there's the idea of the buy-in where if you want your reader to buy into something like high concept or something that isn't necessarily like realistic to life, you have to get so many small details right, or you're afforded like one large buy-in per page, or the different metrics on that. And so by having all these like small details, all these machinery details very accurate, we can get them to buy into other things. And so
Sure.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Just love that perspective shot here in the lower left.
Right.
Yes.
Just great. Great exterior. Just
No, there's you can really see like all the details straight into the plane, and the whole background just doesn't need anything extra. It's you know, it's simple shapes. It's right there, a little bit of shading done, and
so true.
Great work.
Yeah, and this that's kind of the opening 4 pages that we see. That is the I think it's the second large battle of Dover, which was July of 1940. during the Blitz, which sets up our group captain getting injured and sent to the military rehabilitation hospital in London, where he gets picked up by Churchill.
That's the Churchill image on your English cover. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
No, this is high quality stuff, man.
Great. That's over at Kickstarter right now.
Mhm.
As a Silverline double feature, Wolf Hunter 1 and Sirens 1 remix. Silverline brings you a World War II spy story and a horror story in a single Kickstarter. 64 backers to date, 7 days left to go. Only 7.
Wow.
With
And
almost
then
2,500 in that pledge. So, is that your next stretch goal? Is that 2,500?
Yeah, 25 is where we get our bookmarks included, and everyone who backed at a physical level.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, this looks really good, man. Sorry, James was having a conversation with me and asking me some questions.
No problem.
That's fine.
But I really like this is something that I'm even considering doing, where I focus instead of just doing one book, doing like multiple creative projects that are smaller.
Yeah.
Because I think that one of the things that if we're going to continue using crowdfunding, we have to offer more variety of actual content as opposed to just variant covers, because that's one thing that I have noticed is it's like, people are like, I mean, the variants are cool and everything, but like, why am I paying? I understand that certain variants, because of the artist profile, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
But like, why am I paying all this extra top dollar stuff for just variant covers and not actual more story content? So like I've been looking into doing things where like I'll have like one campaign that'll be for like a larger book, and then the next campaign it'll be like 3 small books and a way to like buy back issues on a catalog. And I think that that's something that I'm going to be looking at. I really like that kind of model where you're doing like 2 projects side by side that are smaller scale and are effectively issue ones of an ongoing as well. It's a good way to build a catalog, and it's a good way to offer more variety and more bang for your buck for the consumer.
Definitely. And that was everyone who involved in Silverline in some way has either been a consumer or involved in comics or independent comics for a while. And so we're trying to make the company that solves the gripes that we would have. So, having substantial content offered in each package is like, first and foremost, our priority is to make sure that you're getting exactly like, ideally more than what you paid for worth. And another thing is that every book that we bring to Kickstarter is already finished. And because a lot of things, you back something and they're trying to sell you on these 15 variant covers. And then it's a pipe dream that doesn't get finished for 5 years. And so
too many times we've seen that. Yeah.
I have it as a golden rule that I never launch anything. My golden rule is no less than a quarter complete, optimally halfway complete. So that way I can be like, so like this is my projected production timeline, and we should have the book done by X time, so that way people have realistic expectations, and it doesn't take me too much longer past completing the campaign to finish the book.
For Wolf Hunter, I've already given my okay on all 22 pages. I've already all the dialogue's there, and it's just waiting to hit the send button to the printer.
Silverline has done a lot of the double features in the past as well. So, the
only time we ever really do a one-off is if it's something is finished its run and it's been collected into its trade or its
which makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yep. Michael, is the Embrace available anywhere?
It will be. So I'm actually on March 25th. I am launching a campaign that is both promoting a new IP that came about as a joke and offering the back catalog of 9 Realms so you can get the Embrace and our remasters of Elysian Fields called the campaign is SPQR's Bizarre Adventure in 9 Realms catalog. We have SPQR is a short 25-page floppy that's manga style, printed right to left, everything, and it's a historical satire parodying JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's
Nice.
Julius Caesar versus Pompey Magnus at the Rubicon River, modeled after Jotaro versus Dio Brando at the end of Stardust Crusaders.
That's
So,
amazing.
this book literally has like no reason being as good as it is. And here, I'll even share the screen. So if you sign up for the pre-launch, we have a pre-launch exclusive edition of the book with a holofoil variant that is a wraparound cover done by Louis, and I'm probably going to butcher his last name because I believe he's from Argentina. Figueredito, who goes by the handle Ink Art Louis, and so if you sign up for the pre-launch, you'll get a secret tier link when it launches to get a special edition of the book with this as a wraparound holofoil cover.
That is awesome.
Yep. So the special edition of the book will come with some behind the scenes stuff. Our artist Kari Salviejo leveled up when she was doing the book, and so she went and reworked a whole bunch of pages that she did initially. So you get to see like those original pages to compare them to what they look like now, and like it's absolutely just phenomenal work. This joke, this thing that literally just started as a joke of me being sleep deprived after a week of 12-hour shifts and holding over at work until 4 a.m. kind of blew up.
That's incredible.
Oh,
I
that's
love
so
those kinds of parodies. Oh my god.
Yeah, bud.
I make sure I'm going to hold on to the...
Mike, Jimmy, anything you want to tell us about life on Korra?
You can find Life on Korra together with, let me grab her, the Atsi plushie on Indiegogo. Right now, we will fulfill in probably 2 months after the production for these is done. Plenty of variant covers, always a unique story in every issue, and yeah, we finished the campaign with 1,930 euros raised, so we're only 70 away from our next stretch goal, and we broke our backer record, so I am over the moon.
Sweet.
And we're gonna keep
Fantastic.
going in demand until the end. So, yeah, gonna be good.
Rich, anything to promote?
No.
Awesome.
Nice.
Short
And
and sweet.
you're working on Incantesty 3 right now, right?
Chapter 3. Chapter 3. I'm having. I've come across a couple of things that I may want to change in Chapter 3, so it's going to come out a little bit later than I wanted it, but it's at the very least still going to come out. And I came up with another concept that I'm playing around with, and I've been writing the story with, and I just may release that as just a short form comic, like your average 22 or even a 28-page comic, before I reveal Chapter 3, because I have half of Chapter 3 done as far as the line work is concerned. But I'm rethinking a little bit of the story.
Gotcha.
And I want to make sure that I make it as good as I can get it, because this is my personal baby, and this is I did this all through 2020 when I was undergoing my cancer treatment, and it's a very personal thing for me. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that this is perfect, because I love the character of Cassandra. That was the best character I've ever created. I've ever co-created, because if it wasn't for my friend Sophia, who asked for a commission of her being a superhero, this would never have happened. So it's more our creation than just my creation. But I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I want to make sure that Sophia and my creation, is as good as it's going to go.
Awesome.
But in the meantime, I'll just keep drawing Sesame Street characters as superheroes. So,
Perfect.
Works.
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
Hell yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Randy, for the suggestion.
You have OG on his chest.
Oscar the Grouch,
Uh-huh.
and then G up here, and Sesame Street over here.
Cool.
Perfect.
This is awesome, man.
That's sweet. Absolutely great.
Well, thank you.
Well, now in a bit of shameless self-promotion, I have to point out the campaign currently going on in Indiegogo right now. As soon as I can share that here. Of the long shots. Boom. Nope. Boom. There we are. 7 creators, 9 different titles, all put together for a dream that never quite happened. So let me run that video for you. Oh. What could go wrong indeed? Everything.
Mhm.
And if you go over to Indiegogo right now under the Long Shots campaign, you'll see a description of the books. There's all the books right there. All 9 of them. All of them are printed. They're all ready to go. We're looking to ship everything out in June. There's a description of the just a basic rundown of the story behind the books. Each book is 32 pages, beautifully printed, with a slightly heavier cover stock than you would normally see on a lot of these books. Let me enlarge this here. Just beautiful and shiny. The interior stock is almost cover stock. Some beautifully printed works. This is a copy of Only Death Can Save Us. Like I said, there's 9 titles in all. For as little as $25 plus shipping, you can get all 9 books. Each book is 32 pages long. And there's all sorts of different genres here. There's Only Death Can Save Us from Russ Leach, who's been on the program the last couple of weeks. God's Hand by Anthony Figueroa and Mark DeJesu. Hybrids by Luke Stone. Sons of God, great superhero action. God's Hand is a supernatural thriller, also about a supernatural detective in New Orleans. So Shield of the Interceptor, great superhero work, mostly from England. Guy runs across the Shield of Avalon, decides to use it for good. Revolt, which is an anthology book that has a great cover by Chris Skelf on it, and some super stories inside. Oswald Chronicles, which is an anthropomorphic fantasy book about a magical mouse. Wellkeeper, also a great fantasy title. Look at that line work by D. Fish. Just beautiful, beautiful work. Some books deserve to stay in black and white. This is one of them. Wellkeeper, fantasy story about a young lady, magical powers. Tall Tales, and another anthropomorphic book, kind of a cross between it's kind of hard to describe. It's knights, it's swords, and it's animals. And Panda is the lead character in this story. And then Hero Bot Zero, which is my book. It's a story of a 3-foot-tall giant robot who defends his city from all sorts of disasters. He's got a arsenal all through his body. It's a lot of fun. Created by Tippy Totak from Totak Tech. He would have been kinder if the janitor hadn't programmed his own personality into the robot. So he's a gruff little robot who likes to fight large monsters as long as he's on the clock and getting time and a half for hazard pay. So it's a great round, great collection, an eclectic mix of books, all available as the long shots, all for $25 minimal plus shipping. We have metal bookmarks, we have sketch cards, we have trading cards, we have prints that also go around along with it on the different tiers. We're also binding some of the books together into a hardbound book for anybody who wants to keep them on their shelves. And it's a great exposure of these properties. These properties are not going away, even though the deal did. Only Death Can Save Us has had two, is the second volume's getting ready to come out and ship now. All of these, Only Death Can Save, or God's Hand will be available here. A second volume on that will be available shortly. Hybrids is already working on issue 8 through 10, I believe, or 12. I think Luke's got the issue 12 already scripted. Shield of the Interceptor has a long history to it. Revolt's a collection of short stories. Oswald's got a long history of Kickstarter campaigns from Dreamweaver Press. Same thing with Tall Tales. Wellkeeper was a 12-issue story. You'll be able to get all the rest of those from the creators. Like I said, we have a Bet the Kids College Fund where you can get absolutely everything, hardbound books, signatures, sketch cards, prints, bookmarks, everything that you can imagine. We also offer a Spencer's Executive Experience for $10,000. And some people think this is a joke, and really it's not. We've all talked it over. We're all going to be there where you get to relive our dream, where we actually went to New York on a promise that turned out to be false. Where we all got together into the Spencer's parking lot thinking that we were going to go in and sign a big deal that never really was. Mm-hmm. So with that experience for your $10,000, you get 1 car rental economy, a 3-day luxury hotel with bug spray and dewormer provided, 1 voucher for an Italian lunch. It was a great Italian lunch. A guided tour of Spencer's corporate offices parking lot with a promise of going inside that will never materialize. 1 voucher for a sawhorse ride at the Texas Roadhouse down the street, which actually happened. And finally, a tour of a comic book store's basement where we all got together to sign books that wasn't promoted very well. And was still a great time. But even though this all turned out to be fake, the 10,000 tier, the executive experience tier, is not. We will all meet you there. There's many of us that could possibly get there, and we'll all have a little party together between the Italian lunch, the parking lot, and the Texas Roadhouse and the basement inside the comic book shop.
Still considering it if I had 10K.
If you had 10K. And we'd even give you a tour of Central Park if you want. So
woo!
Just to finish off the fantastic quote unquote fantastic experience that this was. So anyway, say what? Hey-o?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to someone else. My apologies.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So that's the long shots available on Indiegogo. The doubleheader Silverline over on Kickstarter. Is Life on Korra available?
On Indiegogo. It's in demand.
On Indiegogo in demand. Look for 9 Realms promotional here on Indiegogo here very soon. What are you going to call that, Mike? Are you there?
I just posted the link in the chat. It's Elysium, it's 9 Realms catalog and SPQR's Bizarre Adventure.
So you're going to want to go over there and sign up for that, right?
Yep.
And be on the lookout for the Incantessi.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be around later.
It'll be out shortly. I'm currently also working on a graphic novel of my experiences over the last 5 months that I can't wait for everybody to read. I had a lot of stuff happen. Tim, I don't know if you're familiar with my situation, but I was down with COVID double pneumonia on a respirator for 6 months or not 6 months, 6 weeks.
Jeez.
And have had to go through extensive physical therapy since then in order to try to get back to back to normal, which I'm almost there. I'm walking around the house without a cane. I'm walking up and down stairs with a cane just for stability, so I don't fall and crack my head. And I've got a 4-wheel walker that I sometimes take out on long trips, but we were just out almost all day yesterday, and I was getting around pretty well walking with a cane. In fact, I picked up a great volume yesterday that I didn't know existed, that I was happy. I can't wait to sit and read it, which is a compendium, an illustrated treasury of Valerian.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Speaking of Euro comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, an illustrated treasury. And was it Kristen just passed here a month or so back, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But this has got some stories in it, but it's really a rundown of the entire series of Valerian.
Yeah.
I can't wait to sit and read it because I don't have all of the books. I have some of them, but I don't have them all. But when I saw that was only I picked that up at our local book warehouse. That's what it was called, for only $10. So couldn't turn that down.
No, yeah.
So judging by the old clock on the wall, it's time for us to think about leaving. Mike, if you're there, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at 9 Realms at Elysian Fields _0, and then on Facebook you can find me at 9 Realms Publishing. And yeah, make sure you sign up for the sign up page for SBQR's Bizarre Adventure and 9 Realms catalog. You don't want to miss out. We've got 2 secret tiers, one of which I showed, and the other one we're keeping as a little bit of a surprise.
Sure.
So we're launching on March 25th, so you have less than a week to get in.
Fantastic. Sign up now. And the link for that is in the chat, so feel free to use that. Rich, how can folks find you?
Just on Facebook right now. My Instagram is down. I have to create a new one, which really sucks. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, The Richness, starting April. As a matter of fact, starting April 1st or April 2nd or something along those lines, I'm going to start doing live broadcasts of my page drawings once again for an hour a day around 9 o'clock British Standard Time, which would be about 4 o'clock in the afternoon over in the States on the Eastern Seaboard. So we're going to start that up again soon.
Technically, cool. I think that's 3 or 6 hours ahead of us. So yeah.
I am okay.
Somewhere between 3 and 4. No,
he's 5.
Sweat. I'm just being anal. That's all.
No, I'm 6. He's 5.
Oh, is he? He's 5.
Yeah, the UK is 1 hour back from us still.
Okay.
Yeah, the UK is right now 5 hours. Well, right now, because of daylight savings time, it's 4 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so hard to keep track of these time zones. Isn't that right, Tim?
I know, right?
Yeah. Right.
Tim's looking to take a little nap as soon as we're done here.
Yeah.
Mike, Jimmy, how can folks find you?
You can find me on my Linktree, /fairies and ends, and fairies with AE and ends with an E, because we're 3 people. You know, I'm Dutch, I'm tall. And you can find anything there. So.
Okay, cool. Tim, how can they find you?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at TimTK. I am also on Twitch on the channel Agro Bacon.
On what?
Twitch. The channel is Agro Bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Agro Bacon. Sure. We want to thank Frog G for being in the chat and helping us getting all of those links out. Frog G, we deeply appreciate you. Seriously. Back at once, back at twice, back at 3 times a lady. Wise guys probably when asked about long shots. Yeah. Yep. There's more information on that coming out soon. We're waiting for Dojo Kun to do one more final report. That'll be a good tell-all, and we'll have a definite timeline associated with exactly what happened here. A lot of details. Not all of us, even all of the publishers, aren't even aware of. So we can't wait to see that report. Links. Thank you so much, Frog G. I want to thank Michael Oden for being part of the conversation today. Rich Perota, Mike, Jimmy, and Tim, thank you so much for being on. All the rest of that are links there towards the bottom of the chat. We deeply appreciate you all. I have one little bit of business that I promised I would run for the great Critical Blast, and then we'll run the outro from there and step out. So here is that, and we'll see you soon, everybody. Any last words from anyone?
Buy indie comics, especially
Indie
ours.
comics, and it's great being back, Randy. It's awesome to see you in such good health, man. It's been far too long.
Thanks, buddy. It's always good to be seen. Like I said, I'm putting together a graphic novel because I had a terrific journey, even though I never left Flint.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I won't say terrific. I've just there were lots of adventures. Let's put it that way.
I am sure there
learned a lot about about not just my system, myself. You learn so much when something like this happens about people in general.
Mm-hmm.
But here we go. Here's a quick ad for Critical Blast, then our outro. We'll see everybody soon. Make sure you leave this industry in better shape than what you found it. Please, please, please. We'll be back next Sunday with more fun, more whimsy. Hopefully, Roland Mann will wake up and be with us as well from Silverline. We'll talk more about Silverline with him as well.
If I can get up at 4 in the morning for this, he has no excuse.
There we go. Exactly. Yes. Tim, we really appreciate you being here today. It's great meeting you. It's great getting to know you.
Yeah.
And
super fun. Yeah.
Yep. Everybody, we'll see you soon. Hang on, Tim. After all of this, if you can, we'll talk a little bit more. We'll see everybody else next Sunday. Also on Tuesday, I'm on Dispatches from Outside the Box, also on the Ragin 2 network. Make sure you check that out. And on Wednesday, especially, I do a show at night at 9 p.m. The Dispatches show is also at 9 p.m. On Wednesday at 9 p.m., I also do the Zimcast, where we talk about news and popular entertainment a little bit more seriously than what we do here, and with a lot more opinion. So make sure you tune in for that. We'll see everybody soon. Hopefully next Sunday at the latest, Tuesdays, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Also check out the other great programming. Also available on the Raging 2 network. I've got that card right there. Dispatches, the great Daphne Lage, Zimcast, Nerd Bacon on Thursday mornings also should not be missed. I'm on there every once in a while. And JD Calderon's Talking Comics on a Sunday, which I will be on later today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with a host of other people. So that's the Raging 2 network, available over on YouTube. Make sure you go over there, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. You will not regret it. It's really turning into a great channel with a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of fun people on it. So,
and more coming.
And more coming. Yep. We've got a Saturday draw stream that'll be here shortly. Whoops.
3 more weeks.
Take care. Sorry, Michael popped out as well. But also, everybody, take care. We'll see you soon. There we are.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.